and I shall do the honor of singing.
Corpulent Brony, what are you doing? You know how they always just play the music?
Well, I know all the words to our anthem, and I will sing them for you now, loud and proud, to the enjoyment of all. And now, the Corpulence Anthem, as sung by the Corpulent Brony.
Wait, the Corpulence Anthem?
They only play the anthem for the winner, Corpulent Brony. The winners are from Corpulenceville.
But I don't know the words to the Corpulence Anthem. I've never even heard it.
See, proud, so great and honorable Corpulent Brony, the brave and glorious. Oh, the Corpulent Brony really likes ponies, and he's from YouTube, which is part of the internet. And that we like best, and he's fat, and he's cool, and we like him because he really has nice vids. Yeah, we love the Brony because he's so cool, and we like to watch his home videos and everything like that. I kind of wish this was over, because it isn't yet over now. The Corpulent Brony really likes ponies, and he's YouTube from YouTube. We like it there because it's really nice, and the vids are cool, and I hope this is over now. And it keeps going on, and we really love the road. So I wish that the song was over now, over now, over now.
Analyze for us, O great and honorable Corpulent Brony, the brave and glorious.
Now, there's no need for such exuberance, really. Especially since I also do not know the words to the Cloudsdale Anthem. What's this? Another Spike episode. Oh, pony feathers. I was really looking forward to a good episode. At least the whole Equestrian Games storyline should be over after this, right? Well, stay tuned, Bronies and Pegasisters, for I have one heck of a review for you. I'm going to do this a little bit differently than normal, so bear with me.
First off, Derpy, nice work, Rainbow Dash!
First, I want to share some in-depth analysis of the themes and morals I found present in this episode, and how they stretch outside the world of Equestria to touch us a long, long way away. The modern-day message to foals in our competition-adverse culture is that it doesn't matter if you win or lose, as long as you participated. This is, of course, complete and utter bullshit! No pony of any repute got where they are because they just participated in life. No, you have to grab life by the alicorn and make it your little bitch until it squeals. This is how you become successful. It doesn't mean you have to be an asshole or forget your friends, which is why I prefer the methodology Rainbow Dash shares with the group that she received from the magical chicken. Namely, you should go out and be awesome, and also try to win lots and lots of stuff. In a related issue, Rainbow Dash admits at the beginning she doesn't think her team has a very good chance of going home with the gold, but they are definitely in the running for silver. Instead of making kids believe perhaps they can actually win the gold, this episode shows in almost an offhand and non-climactic fashion Rainbow Dash barely coming in second, thus proving her prediction. And you know what? It's not a big deal. RD, FS, and PP seem relatively happy with their silver medals, especially since they somehow eked out a win over Cloudsdale in total medal count. And every 4 years, the Olympics brings up this dumbass metric of medal count. Seriously, can you find a more meaningless metric? By default, the teams that field the most participants in the most events will have the better chance at winning any medal counts, and some events allow for more medaling opportunities than others. Your hockey team will only bring home at most 1 medal, whereas a team consisting of at least 3 snowboarders could bring home up to 15 medals by competing in 5 different events. I'm sure a better metric exists, but I'm simply not enough of an Olympic geek to really care. The fact biennially we are bombarded with charts showing medal count, which you now know is horseshit, is just annoying. No pony wants to let every pony down, and this is the dilemma in which Spike finds himself. He feels the weight of the Equestria Games and the Crystal Empire on his shoulders as he mounts the torch and finds himself afflicted with ejectile dysfunction, commonly known as ED. Did Twilight rescue Spike by lighting the fire for him? I contend she actually let him down and transformed him into a mere participant and not an actual actor. Thus, Spike is left unfulfilled, with the desire still to prove himself worthy of the adoration of his crystalline fans. So he tries to sing the Cloudsdale Anthem, and while I believe believe he did a great job considering he knew none of the words. I don't imagine the whole snafu endeared him very well with the other ponies as a competent dragon slave, but at least here he was allowed to fail miserably without Twilight's intervention, leaving him to really hit rock bottom in depression. He spends the rest of the games locked up in his room until Twilight finally drags his ass out for the final events and closing ceremonies. This silly ice archery thing is just silly. Arrows that turn their targets into ice? Okay, let's go ahead and buy it. So what happens if a hapless pony shoots one of these arrows 4,000 feet on a vertical trajectory against gravity? Wait, I think I can actually estimate the initial velocity since the arrow took 63 frames, which at 30 frames per second is 2.1 seconds. To compensate for the acceleration of gravity, this means the arrow must have been traveling faster than 2,000 feet per second when it left the bow. This is twice the average muzzle velocity of a 9mm handgun bullet, which is only 1,000 feet per second. Impressive pony shooting skills. Speaking of, I think this is the first weapon I can recall being in the show. I mean, this is the same show that had an epic battle between Frontier's ponies and Buffalo, where the main weapon the ponies wielded was pie. Now we find out they have fucking ice arrows? Back to my point. What happens if one of these magical arrows is fired into a cloud, which is made up of billions of tiny water droplets? It strikes a few water droplets. So really, a few more ice crystals would be formed to fall to the ground as hail, or perhaps even water if they melt before hitting the ground. Since the cloud contains vaporized water, the water is not close enough together in proximity to kick off a chain reaction that would crystallize the water molecules into a solid mass of instant ice. Then consider the amount of water that would have to be in the cloud to create such a massive piece of death hail. Anyway, folks, this is just a flipping cartoon. Deal with it. So why didn't the unicorns use their magic to redirect this icy Hindenburg? This actually was explained with the uncomfortable TSA-like redirection of unicorns to have their alicorns demagicked. This makes the world of Equestria somewhat grayer in my eyes, as it means cheating is so prevalent that such a device would even be necessary. This is a real sad state of affairs. Luckily, Spike is here to the rescue, and he is able to breathe such a massive ball of red flame, one which we have never witnessed him breathe before, to melt the spiky icicle ship of doom. Yay, Spike! And there was much rejoicing. The final moral, voiced by Spike, is that all the external praise in the world is meaningless if you don't let yourself feel the praise on the inside by letting go of past failings. Another deep moral that flies in the face of modern parenting culture, where young foals are praised for every little thing they do, no matter how insignificant. Then, when they get old enough to interact with the real world and are confronted with the harshness of reality, their ginormous egos are annihilated, resulting in sometimes disastrous consequences. I believe causing the horrible increase in teen pregnancy, teen suicide, teen drug use, and even the mass shootings and other violent acts perpetrated by these hapless kids who never learned how to cope with the inevitable disappointments of life. That's enough of this jibber-jabber. Here are some little details I noticed in this episode. Spike's playing his role as manservant really well. Hey look, Fluttershy's motivating bulk biceps in his final workout. You go, girl. Has any pony else noticed Derpy's eyes seem to become less derped as time wears on? Oh no, they've abducted Spike. Hoof ponies. Nice ponification of footmen. Twilight mentions here that the last time Spike was in the Crystal Empire, he saved it, conveniently leaving out the truth that Spike made a quick stop in just for sidekicks, meaning I assume that he never told Twilight the truth, and she never found out. And we see Twilight Sparkle's new throne, and the fact that by sitting up there, she is separated from her friends, where it appears she would rather be. Then there is the exuberance Twilight showed for her home team, and the slight rebuking look from Celestia, showing that life as a princess isn't as free as it was when she was a mere student. These two short scenes were very telling, but I really wish we could see more of the story here. Any pony else notice the animators may have gotten a little lazy in these scenes with the background ponies? Oh well, can't blame them too much. Harsh when he's calling Spike Mr. the Dragon. Spike really needs to get himself a real last name, or insist to be called Mr. Spike. I'd prefer Mr. Spike myself. Check out the faces on our heroes. Rainbow Dash's face says, I'm awesome and I know it. Fluttershy's face says, OMG, I wish every pony wasn't looking at me. Bulk Biceps' face says, yeah. And Derpy's face says, I'm happy, cute, and adorable. Act casual. Sup? Oh, Rainbow, you shouldn't apply for any acting gigs, girl. Spike can light fire with his mind. He's a pyromancer. And in this episode, Pinkie Pie continues emulating Rainbow's oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh thing. I know at the opening I said this is another Spike episode, which means I'm not going to like it, but I did like this episode. It was a pretty good episode. It was very fast-paced, and a lot happens. It ties up a lot of loose ends from prior episodes dealing with the Equestrian Games. It gives us just a slight taste of what Twilight's dealing with being a princess, although I still think they can go more into it. And it's dealing with some silly issues Spike has with his little ED, projectile dysfunction issues, or his weird, I don't know what the hell is wrong with Spike. Anyway, thanks for watching, every pony.
Corpy.